Hi guys, nice to meet you all and good afternoon everyone. So today we are going to present you guys about what is hardware description language, which is known as HDL, and computer programming language, and they are different between these two. So first, before we're going to start our presentation, I'm going to introduce you guys my group member. So first, which is Francis, which is here. Another one is Asmil. And next, Mirage. And last one, that's me, Oscar. So, now let's straight to the point, okay? So, first off, we're going to start off with a HDL, which is this. So, what is HDL actually? HDL is actually stand for Hardware Description Language. It is a kind of language that used for conceptual design of integrated circuit. They are used to model, describe, and test electronic circuit. HDL are also used to write executable specification of some piece of hardware. It's a simulation of software before implementing the code into a physical form. So HDL, so this is the example of the graphical representations of HDL. So as you can see here, this is something like a logic gate, okay? So this is known as NOT gate, and this is known as AND gate, and the last one is the OR gate. So this tree is the one who present the HDL, okay, presenting the graphical circuit, graphical representations of it. So and next, as you can see from these two pictures, there are actually some of several hardware components that interact with the HDL. Yeah, and next, beside that, HDL also have two type of it. There are two types of HDL, which is VHDL, that is known as Very High Speed Integrated Circuit Hardware Description Language, which is this. Okay, and another one is Altered Hardware Description Language, which is known as AHDL, which is this. Okay, so next. So now let's go in detail about the type of the HDL. So the first one, which is the VHSIC Hardware Description Language. As you can see, the first one is VHDL, where the V is stand for VHSIC, which stand for Very High Speed Integrated Circuit Hardware Description Language. Okay, so this language is to describe the structure and behavior of digital electronic hardware design, such as ASIC and FPGA, as well as conventional digital circuit. It is standardized by IEEE, and it is widely used to translate design into a bit pattern that program actually devise, and it allows model to be developed at the very high speed of abstraction. And lastly, it initially conceived as a documentation language only. And next, which we're going to talk about, is the Altered Hardware Description Language, which known as AHDL, where the A is stand for Altered, as in the Altered Corporation. This was developed by them for programming PLD and FPGA, which is known as Field Programmable Gate Array. It is a modular language that is integrated into a quarter 2 system. Okay, so in AHDL, all language are synthesizable. Yes. Okay, so next we are going to talk about the 3 common abstraction level. They are actually in the HDL. So there are 3 common levels in doing HDL as a programmer, which are behavioral, data flow, and the next one is gate level. So basically, behavior is known as a module high-level algorithm that is implemented with a little concern of actual hardware. And for the data flow, it's a module that is implemented by specifying on data flow between the integer. And the next one is the gate level, which is a module that is implemented in the terms of concrete of logic gates such as AND, OR, NOT, and also their connection. So the flow is actually start from behavior down to the data flow, and next is to the gate level. Yeah. So next, I'm going to show you an example of HDL. So the example of HDL is such as like this. This picture is actually represent how the system should work with all the input, output, and the gate as started, as you can see from this picture. Okay, and the next picture, as you can see here, is known as represent how the language would be written in regard to the previous diagram. So as you can see that, please note that Verilog is another example of HDL like VHDL and AHDL. So after that, I think you guys should know about what is HDL, right? Okay, never mind. Let's continue to the next one, which is known as computer programming language. So basically, computer programming language is known as CPL. That is basically a set of vocabulary of grammatical rules for instructing a computer to perform specific tasks. There are many variations of computer programming language. Okay, so and as you can see from this picture, these are the example that the computer programming language are using. Like Basis, C, C++, Java, PHP, and others. Okay, so in CPL, their functions are very flexible and it allows user to choose from standard libraries to third party. Okay, now next I'm going to show you guys on how the computer programming language actually works. Okay, so how it actually works, everyone to know. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys at here. So this is a simple code of C that I use in to show that how the computer programming language actually works. So first, you can see from here, this is the integer of ABC, which is a variable that used to store data inside of it. And then next, this one is the one they are going to print out on the page, telling the user to enter the first value, which is shown here. So the user, when saw this, they will start to enter their first value, which is from here. So user will enter like example 5. So the 5 will store in here, which will be stored in the A. Okay, variable A. And then next, this part is the one who asks the user to enter the second value. So the second value will be stored in here, which the user will key in. Okay, and it will store in B. And last, he will go to this function, which is known as the C, which we are going to run the functions of A plus B equals to what number. So this code is the one that to show to add the value of A and the value of B together and print out the output of C. So the C, as you can see from here, the C value is 12. It's because 5 plus 7 is 12. This is why the code works like that. And so beside that, I'm going to show you guys an example for the computer programming language, which is in C. Here, this is the code in C, as you can see from here. Here are and another one is the same code that I implemented in C++. Okay, yeah, you can see from here. This is the one. So now, finally, we talk about all the hardware description language and all the computer programming language. Now, what's the difference actually between these two? Okay, so actually, now the difference that are shown are some basic things that can be seen in the overall scope rather than in detail and analytical approach. So one view is the level, computer programming language. Okay, as you can see, it's level. So computer programming language is a middle language, not because it can't be considered high level, but because it based on the user and their requirement, the different variations operate at different level. And for hardware description language, okay, which is name itself, it is a hardware description language. It is for constructing a virtual environment for hardware implemented as it also used to implement into the hardware circuit. So another point of C as in computer programming is that it runs sequentially in order, meaning it is executed from the first line of code to the last in sequence. And for HDL, it can handle this and concurrent execution. So one piece of code can execute several different or separate functions at the same time. So and next is the now talk about for C, it is written based on the logical and algorithmic thinking. How the user want the program to work is based on how their thought process is. Okay, so function also work based on algorithm. So for the HDL, okay, it's the HDL user need to understand of hardware circuitry. They should know how everything is supposed to work to implement it. Actually, C doesn't really care much on the result. Yeah, they doesn't actually really care much about the resource or the memory usage. You write a piece of code to run a program, that's all. Executing said program from compile code alone take a few milliseconds, okay, maybe. So while the program can be optimized to run better, the performance of the machine also impact its performance. So now, while for the HDL is limited by FPGA. In programming, to perform a function, you say, if this happen, do this, else do that. Yeah, something like that. This run the CPU to check other component in the system if the event happen. So in FPGA, you design it with a HDL to do the function directly instead of running the program to check component over and over again. Yeah. And okay, so I think that's all. So this is the comparison between the HDL and the computer programming language. So do you guys have a better understanding on what is hardware description language and computer programming language? So it's okay, if don't worry, they still have a small video for you guys for helping you guys to more understand about what hardware description language and computer programming language is really about, and their comparison and their differences. Okay, so now let's go to the video and I'm going to show you guys that video. So enjoy. guys really do enjoy the video and and understand much more better right now. So hope to see you again. Bye.